Hey there, it's Ernie. I wanted to quickly record a video to kind of follow up with the video that I posted earlier that was, I had to upload it to YouTube. And basically, that video was about how to work better remotely and some key tips for how to be mobile and remote during these trying times during the coronavirus situation. And one of the tips was about being self sufficient. And I said, the more self sufficient you are, the better off you're going to be. Well, let's assume you're on your computer and you're doing work on your computer and you have questions about how to do things. So this is where I think a lot of lawyers who think, well, I'm not tech savvy, so I can't figure out how to do stuff on a computer. When your computer is connected to the internet and you have free research tools available to you, you just need to be aware that you can do research. So I'm going to share with you an example of something that I just had to do. And that was, I was going to send an email to a group of people through my Gmail. Hang on a second here. Through my, this is not working. Hang on a second. Cancel. So let's see. So I'm trying to switch over here. Ecamm. Trying to use the shortcut. Okay, well, so first problem was I was trying to use the shortcut and it didn't work because I wasn't in, I don't know. Anyway, Ecamm is something new to me. So, all right, I'm using Google Mail and I need to send an email to a group of people. In this case, it's a group of people who are the speakers for the Small Firm Bootcamp, just to tell them the update on what's going on with the bootcamp, which is basically we're going to do the bootcamp. We're either going to do it live and live streaming together, so people who want to attend by live streaming can attend. But if for some reason we're under total lockdown in New Orleans, then I'm going to tell them, that the other option is we're going to do it completely virtually using the software and the tools that we have to work remotely and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to tell them that, but I need to send an email, and I want to send one email to everyone. And I had set up a group for this, but then a couple of speakers dropped out, or actually one speaker couldn't make it long time ago, and he was in the list. And then a couple of speakers have been added. So I just need to go and check the group that I had put together. But when I go into my Google Mail, I can't find where the groups are. And I've forgotten how I set this up. And I remember that the first time I had to set it up, I couldn't figure out how to do it because to me, I think this is a failure of Google's part. It used to be that in Gmail, there was a link that said contacts, because clearly if you're going to be sending people email, you probably want to add the contacts or check the contacts, but it's not listed on the left-hand panel anymore. So where the hell is it? Well, rather than look, I just thought I would type into Google and say Google, and then you can see here that I had typed create groups in Gmail. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up and I'm just going to show you what happened as I typed. So I typed create and then hit space and I hit groups. Oops, I misspelled that. Groups. And then when I got to that part, Google's telling me that the two top options are create groups in Gmail, create groups in Outlook. So Google is trying its best to help people figure out how to do searching. And so when I see that create groups in Gmail is there, I know that's what I want to do. And I know that that's going to be the best search to perform because that's the highest one. So I'm going to hit enter. And when I hit enter, Google's going to show me search results that are going to help me find good information to help me figure out how to do this. So then I look and I see the very first thing, because Google's super smart, sifting through 179 million search results in 0.59 seconds, it says, here's a video. So it has identified this video as probably the best video for me to watch. It's on YouTube. But if I wanted to, look at the Google support email, I could do that. But what I did was I just clicked on this video because I figured, well, let's just take a look and see what the video is all about. And it's this guy who comes on here in a second.
You can write a group's name and then all the people.
And he starts explaining how you can create, these groups, and he walks through it. And what's interesting is as I watch this video, and what I did was I switched over to my Google inbox. I went over here. And then I can see what's going on over here. And I can say, okay, let me go follow what he's saying. And what he says at some point is, if you want to create a Google contact thing, you click on this thing that says Google Apps. And then he explained something I didn't know, which is that you can drag these things around. So he said, if you want that to be up high, you can have it up high. And I'm like, well, yes, I would like to have that right up there next to this because I don't, that's probably the thing I'm going to do the most. He also explained you can get rid of these other ones, but I'm not going to worry about that. I've got it up here. And if I click on contacts, then he walked you through, and then I'd say, okay, so I clicked on contacts, and then he explained the process. And basically the process is you find a name of somebody, and let's say it's, my daughter, Bridget. So if I type Bridget Svensson, when I pull up her contact record, I could put a label. That was another thing he explained. He said it used to be called groups, which I think is a great idea. But now Google calls everything labels. So I could give her the label. If I click on this, why is it not dropping down? Oh, maybe I have to click edit. When I hit edit, I can give it a label, and I can add her to the speakers if that's what I was trying to do. So that is how you add people to a group. But you may not care about this because you're not using Google. But the point is not about whether you use Google. The point is about whether you can figure out how to do things on your own. All day long, there's all kinds of things that I don't know how to do, or that I forgot how to do, or that I used to know how to do, but they changed some stuff. And the first thing I do is, using my little Mac shortcut, I pull up the Google thing and I type, like how to do whatever. And I notice because of the coronavirus thing, the first thing, if you type how to, is how to make hand sanitizer. This has become, I guess, a trending thing. So if I click on that and go, okay, well, how do I make hand sanitizer? There are going to be these articles about this. So, if you're thinking, well, I don't know how to do something, the answer is out there in the internet somewhere, and you can figure it out. Whatever it is you don't know how to do, you just have to type the right words in the right order and then sift through some search results. And this is what they taught us how to do in law school. So, I mean, you can totally do this. I mean, if anybody should be able to do some basic research on the internet, it should be lawyers, especially lawyers who are trained to use more sophisticated tools for doing legal research. This should be a walk in the park. The problem is if you've never done it, you don't do it at all, well, then your skills are a little rusty, or you maybe don't understand why is Google suggesting these search results, but the more you use Google to search for things, the better you're going to get at using Google to search for things, number one, but also you're going to get better at remembering that Google can help you figure out pretty much anything you want to figure out. And by the way, even if you had a good friend, who knew all the answers, or that you thought knew all the answers that you would email, they may not know all the answers. But if you want to help them and help yourself, and you need to be more self-sufficient to work remotely, do a search. And if you find that there's no articles about your problem, well, maybe then you have a really arcane problem. And at that point, it might make sense to try to find an expert or a friend who's good at finding stuff. But I mean, to not be able to go do basic search is really just a function of not thinking like, gee, I could probably figure this out. So when people say, a lot about technology, Ernie, the answer is I really don't, because it's changing all the time. What I know how to do is how to fend for myself quickly and efficiently and go find somebody who can help me figure things out. So, a lot of times people ask me, hey, how do I do this? And I'll say, well, I don't know. And either I go do the search myself and then send them the answer. They go, oh my God, you're a genius. Well, no, I just did the search. But usually these days I tell them, this is what I searched and this is what you can do. And these are the search results, because I want people to learn how to be self-sufficient. I want to teach people how to fish and not just give them fish. So I hope that you found this helpful. And just be very self-sufficient. The more self-sufficient you are, the more easily you will be able to work remotely, which is obviously very important these days. All right.